joyful moment. I'd like to ask, are there those among us or friends or family members that we should lift up in our thoughts and prayers who could use our support at this time? If anyone has someone that they would like to mention, please do so now.
Alma, this is Catherine.
Hi, Catherine.
Lewis Johnson, who I believe is the president-elect for the Aurora Club, Rotary Aurora Club, his sister has recently passed from COVID. So please hold Lewis and his family in our prayers and thoughts.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And that's Aurora Rotary Club?
It is.
Okay.
He's with Aurora Sunrise.
Okay.
Yes, thanks, Rachel. Thank you.
Almost the same.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Is there anyone else that we should keep in our thoughts and prayers?
Yes, please. I have a dear sister-in-law who was one of the unlucky few that is a COVID-19 long hauler. She got COVID-19 a year ago last March. She is still struggling, and I have been reading about the long-term effects, and I am hoping that she's going to recover. So that's the next public health issue, how to treat people who have been through this. It's just tough.
Susan, what is her name?
Her name is Jeannie.
Jeannie, okay.
Delightful lady. And she's been hospitalized 3 times in ICU, almost died a couple of times. We all know, we all have stories like this. And
exactly.
So I'm hoping that things will be better for her soon.
Susan, thank you. I know we will all hold Jeannie in our thoughts and prayers as well. So thank you for bringing that forth.
And I will join in thoughts and prayers for anybody who's suffering with this or has passed away and how it's affected so many families. So
thank you. Thank you very much. Is there anyone else that anyone would like to bring forth? All right. Well, thank you all for lifting up the spirit of Lewis Johnson, president of Aurora Sunrise Club, and Jeannie, sister-in-law of Susan Riley. And I know that our thoughts and prayers go out to both of them. So I extend a very special welcome today to all members and guests. We're glad you're with us to learn more about Rotary membership. As I mentioned earlier, please use the chat to list information so that Jackie Claremont, our membership chair, can be in touch with you. And anyone that would like to place any announcements into the chat, along with the links and the contact information, certainly feel free to do that as well. We welcome your information. So I now would like to welcome Joe Nelson to make an announcement. I want to thank you, Joe, for your work and your organization on the project I know you're going to speak to us about. And thank you and Stephanie Kostelik as co-chairs of the very active and very strong Community Service Committee for the work that you've done on this project. And Joe, share some more words with us about this, please.
Absolutely. Thanks, Alma. As you guys may have seen in the email blast that went out, I believe yesterday evening, we do have this blood drive information for you in the flyer we've been promising. There is a link that went out in the email blast, and I've also shared it in the chat here that you can sign up for slots. I believe they're every 10 or 15 minutes. There's a slot there. So again, this is Sunday, May 23rd, between 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. It'll be at the Rubin Center downtown. And the Red Cross and the Park District of Naperville have stepped up here and done a great job helping us organize this. And in total, this will be our second blood drive in 6 months. So hoping to continue that tradition forward. Thanks, Alma.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you for all the work and coordination on this. And I'd like to let you know that I was the first to sign up yesterday for an 11 a.m. slot on that day. So I hope everyone will follow suit and it will be a good and successful day. And I know Dave would be very proud of the work that we've done in his name. And Dave's family is very pleased that we have done this as well. So thank you, Joe and Stephanie and your entire committee.
Thank you.
So next up, we have our Sergeant Laura. Take it away, Laura.
Well, hi. Nobody's seen me for a couple of weeks, so hopefully we have a lot of happy bucks coming our way. Maybe if we're lucky, I don't have to find you. So I'm sure there's got to be a few happy bucks out there. That's some good things going on. By the way, I signed up for the blood drive this morning, so you know, I'll start finding for that. If you haven't signed up for that, I'm going to come up with all kinds of new ways. So, but hopefully somebody can share some good news.
I'll start.
Awesome. Thanks, Rich.
It was my birthday yesterday, and it was a big one. Medicare all the way, baby. So
Well, happy birthday. So you're going to give us.
I'll give you $100. How's that?
Awesome. I was going to say you're going to give us 100 plus your age, but I'll take 100.
Happy birthday, Rich. That's great.
Happy birthday. Happy year. That's how it should work, right?
Yeah, it was a busy day. I spent it on Zoom calls.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Who else can, anybody top that one?
Yeah, so I've got, currently have 4 grandchildren, 3 granddaughters and a grandson, and I'm gonna have 2 more in October and November.
Oh, that's awesome. I thought you were going to say twins, but
2 different kids.
oh, that's exciting. That is awesome. So
I'll give $100, $50 for each of them.
thank you. Thank you.
Congrats, Bill.
Yeah,
Thanks.
congratulations. We definitely can use some more dollars. We just you know, we have awarded some of the scholarships, but the biggest frustration was trying to pick, you know, from so many amazing high school students. They really wowed us. So any more dollars we can have would be great. So thank you. Anybody else with happy bucks?
Yes,
Oh,
this is Vibhash.
yes.
This is my birthday week, so I'm giving $50.
Oh, awesome. Well, happy birthday to you too.
Okay, thank you.
It's a good month for birthdays, it sounds like.
Happy birthday. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Laura, it's Mike Briggs. We had something unusual happen today at Little Friends. It doesn't happen all the time. It'd be nice if it did, but we, as some of you may have seen, we announced a capital campaign to raise a whole bunch of money for the organization. And we received today an anonymous check for $100,000. Organization.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
So that was really nice and a little bit of a surprise, needless to say. So I'd certainly like to make a contribution. I
Wow.
would consider that happy thing.
That is an absolute happy. Absolutely. So
I consider that those are ecstatic bucks.
that's right.
Yeah, let's not raise the tally on this thing too high.
Congratulations, Mike.
Yeah, no, that's Jason and the team, and yeah, it's just a really nice thing. So
That's awesome.
That is wonderful.
Yeah. I did, just so you know, I did put the link in the chat, but I will do it again because I know it kind of gets pushed down after a while. So I'm going to put it right back in there again. So it's there. But I guess I'm going to add in my happy bucks too, because I just got a new client today that signed a pretty big deal for me. So I'm very excited. So it's nice when you finally get them to sign on the dotted line. So
Yay, Laura.
yep. It actually got me to my June, my June numbers are covered by all this. So now I can coast.
That is great.
It is great. So,
Well, I'm going to chime in with Happy Bucks too. $50 for the cheers that I am offering up to Mike Briggs and Little Friends for that awesome donation, and $50 for what I've already stated, that I'm happy that I finally have my second shot. So $100 from me today.
awesome. I got my second shot too, by the way.
Yay.
And Saturday I was very, very lethargic and back to normal by Sunday. So that's good. Sounds like that's the way. So any more happy bucks?
Jason Altenburn here. In addition to Mike shared the one news, I wanted to thank our amazing Rotarians who showed up. We had a service project last Saturday, and I want to thank Rachel. And Rachel helped me out. Who else was there? I know the Bill was there, but they did interior painting on one of our townhomes in cooperation with an organization that was founded by John Whitekin called Samaritan Network Day. And the place truly looked transformed, and Rotarians were on the site to make that happen. And so I'm going to add $50 of joy because of their hard work and their efforts. We're just truly grateful for them coming on a Saturday to do that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, Jason, it was Bill, myself, Marion,
yes, thank you.
and her son, John, who came down from Wilmette. He drove down from
Wow.
Wilmette to help out.
Yes. Thank you, Marion, and thank you again, everybody who helped. That's great.
That's really
That
neat.
is wonderful. Thank you all.
I also have some happy bucks.
Ooh,
The
very
International
nice.
Service Summit is 2 days away. It's this Saturday. It's shaping up to be a great event. We'd love to have as many of you there as can make it. So it's just Saturday morning. Please join us. Rich has already put the sign up information in the chat.
All online.
Where is it?
It's online.
Online.
The conference is a virtual conference this year.
Right.
And the link is in the chat. So you can go on and register through that link, and it'd be a great way to start the day on Saturday. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yep. All right. Any more happy bucks?
All right.
I think we did really good today, so I'm not going to fine anybody. So we'll push that over to next week or something. Thank you, everybody. This is great.
Great job, Laura. Thank you. Thank you very much. And now it is my honor to introduce to you our membership chair, Jackie Claremont.
Hello, everyone. We have an exciting day today. We have 2 new members to welcome to our club. So I will do just a brief introduction of both gentlemen and then hand it off to Alma for the real important stuff here. Both of these gentlemen have been approved by the board of directors as well as our general membership here in our club. So we will begin. First introduction will be Devjit Das. He lives in Lyle with his spouse Rashmi and 2 children, Devam and Rashika. He is the founder and CEO of Grow Cool Incorporated, and I'm sure he will tell you a little bit more about himself after the induction. And then our second member, almost member here very shortly, is Joseph Jackson. He is the executive director of Hesed House. He lives in, was from Chicago, lives in Oswego with his wife, Trisha, and 2 children, Claire and Kate. So we are very excited to welcome both of these gentlemen into our club. And again, Joe's sponsor was Janet Derrick, and Devjit Das' sponsor is Nina Menace. So thank you both for welcoming these 2 new members into our club. So Alma, I will hand it over to you.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you. An exciting day indeed. Absolutely. So at this time, I'd like to recognize, as Jackie said, new member Devjit Das with his sponsor, Nina Menace, and new member, almost new member, Joseph Jackson with his sponsor, Janet Derrick. So Thank you, Nina and Janet, for bringing these wonderful new members to us. So on behalf of the Board of Directors and the membership of this club, it is my privilege and honor to welcome you both, Joe and Debjit, into the Rotary Club of Naperville. You are joining a worldwide fellowship of business and professional men and women devoted to the service of others. We look forward to the fellowship that we will share with you, as well as your participation in our club projects that make our community, our country, and our world a better place. As a member of Rotary, you will pledge to uphold the highest ethical standards. Rotarians believe that worldwide fellowship and peace can be achieved when business and professional men and women unite within the Rotary motto, service above self. Debjit Das and Joseph Jackson, you have both been chosen for membership into the Rotary Club of Naperville because fellow members believe you to be a leader in our community with qualities to champion and to support the goals and activities of the Rotary and the Rotary Foundation. So if you agree with that statement and would like to indicate acceptance, you may now say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Right answer. Thank you. Your sponsors, Nina Menace and Janet Derrick, and membership chair Jackie, have or will present you with the Rotary pin. Your Rotary membership pin is the only identification needed for you to visit and be welcomed by more than 34,000 Rotary clubs throughout the world, and in over 200 countries. So you've just made a world's worth of new friends today. So fellow members, I am pleased to present to you our newest members, Debjit Das and Joe Jackson. Let's give you a Rotary round of applause. Welcome. So at this time, I'm going to ask each of you to say a few words. And Debjit, would you like to go first?
Sure, with pleasure. Thank you, Alma. So it's an absolute pleasure and privilege to become part of Rotary and Rotary Club of Naperville. Thank you very much to Nina for agreeing to sponsor me into the club. Of course, Alma, Jackie, all along over the last few weeks of, kind of guiding me through the club. So I also want to introduce my wife, Reshmi. So we've been together for 20 years now. And the kids are 13 and 9, both go to Naperville 203. By way of quick background, so professionally, I have a online platform company called Roku, which is actually built around bringing people together to empower organizations to empower people to come together to pursue different types of programs based on common interest areas. So that's what I do for professionally of late. Prior to that, spent quite a few years in product and marketing roles in Fortune 50 companies. By way of background in terms of Rotary itself, I've actually been associated with the Rotary movement in India since the age of 5. My parents, so I'm second generation Rotarian kind of. So my parents were Rotarians. They kind of spent their life through service, fellowship, and leading different types of initiatives, polio obviously being a big one that we all know about. So pleasure and privilege again to connect back to the Rotary movement through this club. Thank you so much.
Debjit, welcome. We are glad to have you. And when any of you have an opportunity to chat with Debjit about his family's Rotary history, it is quite enlightening and quite touching and very, very interesting. So thank you very much for putting your trust in us as a club to be a member of. So welcome.
Thank you.
And excuse me, and then congratulations to you also, Joe. And would you next like to share a few words with us?
Sure, absolutely. Thank you very much. Yeah, I am absolutely honored and humbled to be a part of this organization. Just learning about the the history of Rotary in general, but also this Naperville Club, it's astounding what this organization's been able to accomplish, and all of the phenomenal impact that you all have had in our local community. So thank you to everyone who's been a part of this and made that possible. And I'm very much looking forward to joining the ranks and helping out. So thank you. And Janet, thank you so much for sponsoring me, taking a chance on a kid from the south side of Chicago. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you both, Joe and Janet. Congratulations, and another round of applause. Thank you. All right, well, may I be the first, or maybe the second, to congratulate you both and say welcome to the Rotary family. We look forward to your contributions, which will make us a better club. So congratulations again to you both.
Thank you.
So you may recall, switching gears here just a little bit, that I mentioned a while back that I've been meeting over the last few months with a task force that I have appointed to research all the elements to be considered for meeting in person at a future time yet to be determined. But meeting in person comes with a lot of work and a lot of considerations, and that's been taking place over the last few months. So to assist the reentry team that I've appointed and the membership committee who are working together on this endeavor, as they research and consider all the elements as part of that information gathering, we would like to hear from all of you, from members, to help the team with their work. The team will now have a simple member poll here on Zoom to gather your thoughts for the purpose of helping us in consideration and decision-making. We believe the best decisions are made when you have good information and research to draw from. The poll that you're going to see is completely anonymous and it is completely voluntary, but it would certainly be a big help to us and the team if you could answer these simple questions on the poll, please. So thanks in advance for your help to us. So Kim, can you load the poll now, please? And also your the group's responses, the tally will pop up immediately.
Okay, I think I have to stop the share. Give me just a second. Oh, you know what, Dave, I think you have to share the poll because you logged in first. Maybe you're the host.
And it's telling me that you are logged in on another device.
Yeah, it's not letting me share the poll. Okay, this is one of those Zoom crazy things.
Right.
I
Alma,
could see
can
it
you see it?
earlier. Alma, can you see if you can go down the polls and see if you see that?
I will see if I do.
I
under polling.
apologize.
Yeah.
No, your polling session is inactive.
Hey, you know what? I think I can do
Maybe
it.
Brian.
Okay. All right. And we had this problem before.
Hey, such is the Zoom world. Hey, we're all used to this, right?
Yep.
You want
So
me to
Brian-
launch it right now, right?
Yeah,
I'll launch
just
it.
launch it. Yep.
Here we go. Good luck, everyone.
Did it pop up yet? I don't see it. Did
We are
you?
building up such suspense.
Very easy.
Did it pop up? I don't see it yet, Brian.
Yeah, it popped up. I've already
Oh.
done it.
Oh,
I've already done it as well.
oh,
done it.
Yeah, it was really quick.
Maybe those of us as hosts can't see that.
Oh, yeah, because I can't see
If,
it.
if you're all logged in under the same club account, then you're probably not getting it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
okay.
I
Okay.
think it was 2 questions only. So if that
Yes.
was it, I'm already done.
Yep. Just 2 questions.
It was pretty simple.
Wonderful. We promised it would be short and simple.
Good. I like short and simple.
Is there anyone that wants to put their hand up on their screen if they did not see a poll to take? Let me get gallery view here. It looks like everyone has seen the poll. Wonderful.
All right,
Well,
and
I can see nothing, so I will take your word for it. And
Brian, you can, did you share the results already?
Well, it just says end polling, so you
Yeah,
just
so end polling, and then everyone should be able to see what
your
the
results.
results.
Okay, got it.
You might just share that with Alma, because we can't see those.
Well, it says, so we had, I'm fully vaccinated. 30 people
91.
responded, 91% said yes, partially. 2 people, so that's 6%, and I have no plans to get vaccinated. 1 person, 3%. Then the second question, how comfortable are you gathering in person with others who are not vaccinated? 52% said they are very comfortable. 9 said somewhat comfortable, and 27% said somewhat comfortable, and then 21% said I'm not comfortable at all. And that's it. Any questions?
great.
I'll stop sharing if there's no questions. All right.
that is great. Well, thanks for the team effort on on getting the polling to work there. I appreciate that. As I said, we appreciate the information. It's going to help the team as we make decisions moving forward. So stay tuned for more on that. Thank you all. So with that, I am really excited to introduce Mike Briggs. This entire Rotary year, Mike, who is the Director of Vocational Service for our club, has led the charge for Rotarians in identifying and connecting with fellow Rotarians to connect in the most meaningful ways with an attempt to do business together when it makes the greatest sense. So I offer up much gratitude to Mike for his tenacity to this project through the entire year, and a project that can become such a valuable aid to our members. So with the thought that this cannot happen unless you actually know your fellow Rotarian, here is Mike to deliver today's program. Mike, take it away.
Thanks, Alma, and thanks for everybody who's made the time to join us this afternoon. I'll try to keep this brief, but yet at the same time, I think there's some really interesting information that's worth sharing. Kim's going to drive the bus for us so that we can at least make sure that we're able to keep things on flow and that I don't lose the presentation and trying to share things. But in any case, this whole process and this project started, I think, probably in the April timeframe, when the genesis for the Rotary Network website began. And we were asked from a vocation committee standpoint and a steering committee, there were 3 districts that were involved with this: District 6440, 6450, and District 1, in terms of creating this pilot website. The pilot website, in terms of what went on, had some really good things in it, but and in particular, one of them was how to connect Rotarians. But what we found out was the database that was going to be used for that project was going away, and then it just it started to fall apart because they didn't know how it was going to work. So I still like the idea that I really felt as though there were things to share, and that if people could help one another as Rotarians helping fellow Rotarians, if there was work to be done and there was an opportunity, why not create a connection? And so with that being said, I tell you, just went rogue and decided to just try this to see if I could do it. It's been an interesting process. I will tell you, while I was able to compile information, it's by no means the most effective or efficient in terms of what I put together. And I'll walk you through what I've got, and was able to draw some conclusions, and there's some really interesting things that came out of it. I will tell you this, which is kind of an interesting thing, is that I learned more about the 22 people that responded to the survey than I had learned in my 3 years of going to lunch. And I enjoyed it, and I think that there's some great things to share. And so I shared that with Alma, and it's something I wanted to share with the group, is that there was some good that came out of this, and I hope that we're able to take this to a point where we can help one another when the need exists. So Kim, if you can start driving this, we'll go fast, and I'll try to get through this in light of all the time. Pardon my old sales background presentation, but you always start with an agenda as to what you're going to cover and what the topics are. We'll go through the forum in terms of what was there. I'll share with you the data, and then if time presents itself, some next steps, because admittedly, there are a couple things that were too cumbersome. There's got to be a better way to do it. And I'm not professing to be the technician in this, but I can see where there are opportunities. Next slide, please. In terms of the forum, I created the forum on Google. It was suggested that I do that, and I will tell you, it was a piece of cake to assemble. But I'm not so sure that I put it together right in terms of how we were able to pull the information. It is entitled the Rotary Information Sheet. There were 25 questions, and I would tell you it shouldn't take more than 10 minutes to complete. In terms of how the data is received, it's received as an individual response. Some of the items offered opportunity for summation, but yet at the same time, it did require some additional work to be able to analyze the data so that we could turn it and turn data into information for us. So that's in essence what was required. Next, please. Simple stuff that was there. And in terms of name, address, city, spouse name, children's names. I highlight home phone number and fax number because I think I'm letting people know how old I am. The fact that I included that, and there's going to be a pop quiz coming up, so you're going to have to pay attention, start thinking about it now. You're going to have to guess how many people actually have home phone numbers. Think about that as we go on. Next slide, please. Yeah, exactly. The birth date, personal email address, military service. I will tell you in terms of special talents and awards, we have some very humble people. Not everybody filled that out, but what was shared was really impressive. And we'll go through that as well. Next, please. The work information, and this is really what I was kind of hoping to be able to really hone in on. The name, address, your website address, how to reach you at work, what your job responsibility was, and then a brief description of your company. If you think about if you need a product and or service and you're trying to create a connection, this is really the genesis of the information that I tried to pull together. I think there are ways of which we can sort on this, and I want to figure out how to make it easier than just reviewing the entire list. But it provided a good basis of information in terms of what was available, and everyone provided really good information in terms of what to use. Next slide, please. See, I thought I had it all lined up. Sorry, the right one is. There were a number of different items in terms of how to categorize the business. And this was really, this came from actually participating in a Rotary event that was held in the Ukraine. And I kind of gathered some information in terms of what they were doing, but these were the categories they used. We added a couple others. It was interesting. We hadn't included, or they hadn't included, and what came out as others included electronics and government. But the majority of the categories that are listed here provided a cover for the businesses that we have. And this too is another important data point that we want to be able to capitalize on. Next, please. When you think about when you're looking for someone or looking for information, keywords is really an important thing. And so the right database and the keywords in place makes it easy to find some sort of help. And that was really kind of the genesis of what I was trying to get at. We did ask, which was an interesting question, what's the best way to contact people? Email, phone, or mail? And some interesting data came back from that. I'll share that in a moment. Next, please. Did ask if there were things that people wanted to learn more about. And this was actually, it was interesting to me because it provided, if someone was interested in something within Rotary, they actually provided that as guidance, and it's something that we need to follow up on. The other thing that I will share is then we asked how people got into Rotary and who their sponsor was. Were they a former Rotarian? What was really interesting in terms of looking at the data was how many people knew their date of induction. And that was a really cool thing. I mean, you you could tell when there might have been speculation if it was the first of a month. But I mean, there were people that knew the exact date of when they joined the club. And to me, that speaks to the importance of the organization to them. Next slide, please. So let's talk about what we've received so far. We sent the email out, and 22 Rotarians have participated thus far, which is just under 20%. And I understand, it's doing forms and filling stuff out, and you get busy, and the reality is that you forget about it, and then it happens. And then here we are having a presentation about it. And so to the 22 that participated, thank you so much. It provided some really interesting information. It was useful. And I will tell you, though, it needed to be, if you will, massaged into another document. Now, what I created, because I didn't know any better, was a 27-column Excel spreadsheet. And literally, I printed it out, and I will tell you that it was almost 6 feet wide. And if you want to know why, is because it was the only thing I knew how to do. But I will tell you that the information was very useful. It just needs to be more easily available, because it's kind of hard to be able to roll through and see something that's 6 feet wide. It's kind of interesting, and I do have it printed out behind me. I don't know if you can see back over there on the chair, but I've got it folded up 3 or 4 times, so at least it fits on it. Next slide, please. So as I said, I learned more about the 22 people who filled out the sheet than I knew from the conversations that we were able to have at Rotary, and I kind of blame myself for that, to tell you the truth. And so to me, that was good. And so I was really glad that I was able to read this information. I will tell you, there's no doubt in my mind that this idea has merit, but I will tell you also that the Excel spreadsheet is a PITA. And a PITA is paint in the, and then you can fill in whatever you want to call it that. There has to be a better way to capture the information. And for those that are more technologically astute, I would welcome any assistance. We'll just put that on the table now. Next slide, please. So here's just some interesting information of the 22. 16 of our members who responded live in Naperville. So the majority of the respondents in Naperville. 3 were in Aurora. But this was interesting to me. 1 in Evanston, 1 in Burr Ridge, and 1 in Bolingbrook, and had no idea. Next slide, please. Now here's a question to see if you guys are still here and you haven't gone away. The correct answer, you have to answer this in the chat now. You'll get a shiny quarter when we finally get to meet in person, depending upon that when is. And the question is, how many of the 22 people have home phone lines or have home phone lines? And the first one with the right answer has already come up, and that was Bill Johnson with 4. So Bill, congratulations, you won a shiny new quarter. I'll get that to you when we get together. But literally, there are only 4. There are only 4 home lines. Everybody else is gone the mobile line, which I thought was pretty interesting. If you want to ask how many people had fax lines, that was less. And interestingly enough, Little Friends is one that has a fax line still. Next slide, please. So congrats, Bill. Okay, other information. 21 of the 22 were married or had a significant other. On average, of the 22, there's 1.68 children. I believe there's 37 or 39 kids. 4 of the 22 are retired, and 12 out of the 22 were either owners, CEOs, or presidents of their organization, which was interesting to me because I didn't realize the genesis and the responsibilities of everyone that was there. Next slide, please. Of the 18 people that were working, everyone worked in Naperville except for 1. And there was 1 who used to work in Naperville, and they just moved to Warrenville. But I can tell you, I know why they moved. And they moved for better space and more room to grow and space that they could afford. And that was Little Friends, who just moved a few months ago. But everybody else was from Naperville, which explains the role and the involvement in the organization. Next slide, please. In terms of the business types that were represented, this was interesting to me. I mean, it was across the board in terms of the different areas that people provided services for. There were 3 that were in what I would classify as marketing and related services, not all just direct marketing, but different kinds of marketing. So I kind of bundled that. There were 3 that were in either education or higher education. 2 respondents that were involved in social service, 2 that were involved in construction. And then there were another 3 that were involved in what I broadly categorized as financial services, insurance, and wealth management. Other business types: healthcare, electronics, real estate, professional services. I think I got all of them, but it was a good synopsis of the different business types that were represented from the people that responded. Next slide, please. Really great feedback in terms of the keywords that were there, and it really also validated the need for search capabilities, and that's something that's really important. Next slide, please. On the special talents and awards, I was really impressed with what I read, and to the compliments of the people, it really spoke to the level of talent and commitment to helping others in our community, and I just really thought that that was great, and it was really nice to read and nice to see some of the accomplishments of others. And not everybody provided it, but those that did, it was pretty good stuff. Next, please. This shouldn't be a surprise. Everyone preferred email in terms of how to communicate. 8 of the 22 were okay with phone, and 2 of the 22 were comfortable with snail mail. And I will tell you that in light of that, it was the responses would have been email, phone, and mail in terms of what people said that they were comfortable with in terms of information provided. But the majority, obviously, and what everybody wants on a consistent basis is to hear from others via email. That seems to be the best way from a contact standpoint. Next, please. If you were going to ask me my conclusions, I still maintain that the effort to do this and provide a means to connect Rotarians with Rotarians and help one another, and should you have the need to do business, it makes good business sense for us and all of us. I will tell you that the 27 column Excel spreadsheet is too cumbersome, and for those that know how to figure this out and can help me, I would welcome the help. I will tell you the Google form captured the information well. There's no issue with that, but it's one thing to have data. As you guys have all know this, it's one thing to have data. It's another thing to have information. And so what I'm trying to do is to have that data be usable, and I'm hoping that we're able to pull that together. So could welcome some help. Next, please. In terms of next steps, the next steps from my vantage point are we need to clean up the way that we capture and report, and then have search capabilities, and then publish it and make it available to the membership. Hopefully, we can create a little bit of energy behind this and get others who have yet to fill out the form fill that out, and then see what we can do. But my hope is that we're able to pull this together and provide this as a tool for all fellow Rotarians. Will it be something that gets replicated down the line? You know, I don't know that. My goal right now is to let's at least get it working for us, and then if we can do that, then we can see what happens from there. So I think that is it. I guess last point is that I think it's important, and it's one of the benefits of being in the club. There's some incredible businesses represented by the fellow Rotarians, and if you happen to have need and we can support each other and we can make a connection and we can facilitate that, then I think that that's good business. And I believe that that's a good thing. And if you're not obligated to, but if you want to and you can help one another, it's a good thing. And so I kind of inspired to want to try to see this to where it works and works on a regular basis. So that's my objective and what we're trying to do with this program and this initiative. Next slide. I think that's it. So I appreciate the time and the energy and the fact that you all spent the afternoon or a little bit of the afternoon listening to what's going on. And I hope the information is of value, and others who haven't filled out the form, and I'll pull it in the data, and we'll get it we'll get it sent out. Roger, if you just sign on to, if I see Roger just sent a note, can you send the form again? Yeah, I can figure out how to get it sent out. We'll send something out later today. So that's all I've got.
Mike, I echo, Brian just wrote in the chat, I love this. And I completely agree, ditto. I love this idea. Everyone needs to know that Mike has had a lot of tenacity around this. We've been talking about this and noodling different ways that this might work. And Mike never wavered from the idea that he was going to figure out a way to make this happen. And I really thank you, Mike. And I don't know, I think you're going to be excited. I'm sure presenting, you didn't see this in the chat, but brand new member today, Debjeet, said he has got some information that he thinks will do exactly what you need to have done with this. So I can't
That's
wait.
awesome.
I can't wait to see what happens when the two of you connect and figure out how that's going to look. So, wow, power of Rotary right there, right in front of us. I love that. So, I see several that are wanting it to be sent again. We'll figure out the best way to get that in front of everyone, and I'll send out a note, an email to everyone, just reminding them again of how important this is. And I love this, Mike. We've got a couple, we've got maybe a couple minutes for maybe, I'd say 3 questions. Does anybody have a question that they'd like to ask Mike specifically about this, or a comment?
I'll ask one. So Mike, if you're a retired guy like me who, has a long work career, how should we answer that employment part?
The people that answered it acknowledged that they had retired and what their past responsibilities were, and I just included in the line item where they had worked and what their prior position was, in case they became a resource if somebody needed some help or guidance. The idea was, I'm almost there with you, Rich, with regard to Medicare, but I sucked at retirement, so I'm back doing this. But the reality is that, I mean, you could offer someone, if they needed some help, some incredible guidance in terms of your past experiences, and we need to make those connections or create a way to facilitate those connections if they're desired. And so I'd like to be able to include that. And, I don't know that it will happen, but if it's needed and it can be of assistance, why not? And so that's kind of what I'm trying to create here, is partial networking and that facilitation of connections.
What prompted you to do this?
Oh, the truth is that I would go to Rotary meetings and I didn't know what people did. And I guess, having spent my entire career in the for-profit segment running businesses, you go to things like this, you kind of wonder what people do. And then it became, as I got involved in the steering committee and I saw that they were stumbling, trying to figure out what to do. And I just thought, I got kind of one of those streaks in me where I just decided I was going to try to figure it out. And so that's kind of what I'm trying to do. I think it will be of benefit to all of the members. And so I'm hoping that I can create a little bit of energy behind it, where somebody then can help me and take it to the next level. Because I don't have it right technically, but I know we got the right stuff. It's just we got to figure out how to deliver. So,
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Great thoughts, Mike. And as Mike and I talked, this was the original reason for Rotary to be established way back in 1905 when Rotary was born, was the idea of business connections. And Paul Harris and his group decided they wanted a group that they could trust to work with in terms of the business needs that they had. So this whole idea is taking us back to Rotary's roots, actually. So I love it. I love it. Well, let's everyone cooperate with Mike and send him our information. And really do thank you, Mike, for all of your work on this. So we've not seen the end of this.
No, we still have work to do. I acknowledge that, but any help is appreciated. And if we can get the right technological solution in place, this can be a good thing for our membership. And so we're going to try to make this happen.
Absolutely.
If I can add a few, so Mike, this is Devjit. So would be happy to provide the GrowCool platform. I mean, the platform is actually designed for exactly what you're trying to do. And part of the inspiration behind the platform was my prior, association with Rotary, even though we are not introduced into Rotary yet. So would be happy to support you with the platform.
That would be awesome. My email address is mbriggs@lilfriends.com. Send me an email and we'll connect and we'll figure out a time to talk and go from there. That'd be awesome.
Perfect. Thank you.
You betcha.
That is wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Devjit.
Thank you.
Well, with that, Mike, any closing thoughts or comments or?
No, as always, I appreciate everybody's time and attention and wish everybody well. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you all at the next meeting.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you all very, very much. We have a quote today that goes right hand in hand with what Mike is talking about. You will always shine if you never stop chasing after your dreams. So that's why Rotarians all shine. So thank you all for chasing those dreams. And Mike, thank you for chasing this thought for almost a year. So really, really appreciate this. And with that, we will recite together the 4-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth?
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all
concerned?
Will it
Build
build
goodwill,
better
better friendship?
Is
Will
it
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
With that, I say thank you. Be well to do good. Be safe, wear a mask, and get your vaccine. Have a great weekend.